Crisis has lurched from bad to worse on a day of major developments. A man in his 80s became our 20th victim as the Premier enlisted the Defence Force to help tackle a worrying surge in cases. Flying squads door-knocked residents in hotspot suburbs in Melbourne's north and southeast, and supermarkets were forced to reintroduce purchasing limits following a fresh wave of panic buying. Brett McLeod.
So, wow, somebody in the 80s died. So if there was no coronavirus, what was the chances of that person not dying anyway at some point during this year? I'm just wondering. The Defence Force called in. Wow, they've been waiting for that. Hotspot flying squads. Wow, so they're going to come and knock on your door. That'll be fun for you. But I had to just come here just to have a look at one little bit. That's all.
And drive those numbers back down to zero.
We're here to talk to you about the coronavirus.
Today, the area
Fuck off.
is designated as hotspots were targeted by a door-knocking army. We're now...
Go get out of here. We're not interested. Thank you.
So they've been quite active in engaging with multicultural communities, but there are concerns about
Yeah, wow. So misinformation. They're concerned about that because they don't want their misinformation to be misinformed with other misinformation. Because, yeah, that sounds legit. But, yeah, how's the guy with the helmet? Is that the protection you got to wear? Or I just couldn't help but notice he looked pretty funny. Here we are, some panic purple going on. We've got her hanging out with all the toilet paper again. Oh, panic. Oh.
Comes to those other grocery staples like hand sanitizer, paper towel, flour, sugar and pasta, it's a maximum of 2 per person for the foreseeable future.
The DCs are full. There's lots of stock. We're focused on
public transport in a coronavirus hotspot.
Either they do lock the hotspots down or they do provide more transportation.
Jane Darley's 16-year-old immune-compromised son was on this packed bus from Northland to Gowan Brae yesterday afternoon, the first time he's caught public transport in months.
He said there was...
Really? He's immune-compromised, apparently. And so apparently... If people were going to be on public transport prior to this coronavirus, was he not a potential candidate to even be affected then with the common flu or anything like that?
People coughing and spluttering, and he texted me and said, if someone has corona here, I'm gone.
The federal government...
So if coughing and spluttering happened last winter and he made it through on there with the packed transport, he can't be that bad. So you really need to make up your mind. But what the... So you got these clowns, they're out door knocking and going to give you a test and stuff in the area, in these hotspots. And it's like, really? So what about if they caught it from the house next door? And so they go next door to do the next test and they bring it there to give it to them anyway. So, like, what's the logistics on this thing? Like, who's travelling it around? Like... They're going to come into contact with it, aren't they? If they're going to come up with positive results for a test they don't even know what they're testing for. But anyway, let's keep going along with the charade. See yous.